Now, today I have a very interesting question that I want to bring to your attention. I'm going to answer it, and then we're going to move on to a very important aspect of any starting small business, even an existing small business. Now, the question is this. Chris, you're always talking about how to market a business, how to get customers, but as far as I know, a small business needs an accounting system. It needs a physical address. A small business needs qualified personnel. Without all these things, there's no business which can succeed. And in your videos, you seem to rubbish all these things. To be honest, I don't think you're being practical. I think you just talk about theories. End of question. Thank you very much for that question, and I'm going to answer it. And just to prove how practical I am, there are no theories in what I discuss here on this channel. Just to prove how practical I am, I'm going to give you a real life case study that I was involved in, where I encountered people with exactly this kind of thinking. And it was a business that was running. It had been running for over a year, and it was making huge losses. The owners were thinking of shutting it down. But before I go to that, let me just answer this question directly first. I have had very many years' experience with startups and small businesses, and I can tell you for a fact, one of the main reasons of failure is this kind of thinking. Now, vast majority of businesses, this is how they start. You work somewhere, for some time. You notice that the company you're working for seems to be making a lot of money. It seems to be very successful. So you go out there and you replicate exactly what you saw where you're working. So you have an accounts section, you have an accounting system, very elaborate, just like where you used to work. Then you have the managing director's office. You must have a managing director's office, etc., etc. Now, all these things involve expenses, and maybe you've taken a bank loan to replicate exactly what you saw where you used to work. In another instance, before you start a business, you will want to consult some kind of expert. So what kind of expert do you consult? Maybe a CPA, somebody who's done accounting, a finance person. Now, naturally, that finance person will tell you the following. You'd be crazy to start a business without a good accounting system because you're going to lose money. People are going to rob you blind. So you set up your business and you pay special attention to accounting system, Now, you'll notice one thing when you start the business. You'll find that the accountants are idle. Why are they idle? Because you spend a lot of energy, you spend a lot of time creating very good systems, accounting, administration system, secretarial system, purchase system, production system, etc., etc. And you've neglected the most important system you must set up before you set up all these other systems. And it is simply this. You must first create a system for generating a constant flow of customers. Because without a customer, none of the other departments in your business will have any work to do. You'll be employing people to sit and do their nails the whole day, and at the end of the month, they'll be demanding a salary from you that you have to get from the bank loan you got. So there's no income coming in, and you're paying people. And meanwhile, you're lying to yourself that the longer I stay in business, one day people recognize that I'm established. I've got good offices, good systems. One day customers will recognize and they'll walk in and my business will turn around and I'll start making money. I just have to be patient and hang in there. I'm sorry to tell you this. You're just lying to yourself. Now, let me give you a story. I was involved in this. Quite a number of years ago, but it's still very relevant today. Somebody was working as a secretary for a Mzungu who was doing a business monthly. That is a monthly business magazine in those days. She came from a business background. Her dad was a businessman, a successful one, and her husband was also very successful in the transport business. And so one day, she decided she had had enough of employment, and she decided she had learned enough about this Mzungu's business. This Mzungu was making a lot of money and he didn't seem to be doing much. So she replicated exactly the same business. And to make absolutely sure that it would work, what she did, she poached all the best people from this Mzungu business. They had a very good salesperson, the best salesperson in the company. She went to talk to him, convinced him to join her new company. The accountant was also a very smart person. She also poached that person. So all these people resigned at the same time and left this Mzungu's company. And they went out there and started their own brand new business. And of course, the financing was coming from this former secretary, and her husband. To them, it was a sure thing. They had the best salesperson in the company. They had taken virtually all the brains from this Mzungu's company. Of course, what they didn't have was an editor. The Mzungu himself was the editor. And of course, they couldn't poach him. He was the owner of the company. So they went out there, found an editor, and set up. 1 year later, everything was going wrong. The company was badly bleeding money. And they could easily have shut it down. Only that when they looked at the amount of money they had invested in this thing, just to quote her words, she used to feel sick in the stomach. That's what stopped her from shutting it down. I hadn't done much in those years, but I had done enough to have a sort of reputation, so they called me in. And they liked the kind of ideas I gave them during the interview, so they decided to give me a contract for 3 months. Now, they were skeptical, but they're also desperate. And when people are desperate, they hang on to any slight hope that they see in the horizon. So I had my chance to turn around this business from failure to success. Now, I'm going to spare you the details, boring details maybe to many of you who are maybe not in that industry, and I'm going to focus on a few key points that are very important even for this discussion and in answering the question we started with. Now, can you guess where my first focus was? I'm sure you can. I focused on creating a system for generating a constant flow of customers. It was not easy. There were 1 or 2 false starts, but finally within the first week, we had something that was working. But my biggest problem by far was resistance to change. Now, they had a very good accounting system and a very expensive one. And mostly it was very idle, of course, because the company was in trouble. It was not generating enough business. Now, just a quick illustration, if you're looking at a business in trouble, it's like a person bleeding to death. So what do you do when a person is bleeding to death? You first of all find out where the source of the bleeding is. And you try your best to slow down this bleeding and even stop it if you can. So I tried to get this information from the accounting department. The very complex, complicated, excellent accounting system. I mean, they kept their books very well. And I just couldn't get the figures I was looking for. Now, if you're doing a business and you're waiting for the end of the month, to look at your accounts, you're in trouble. Because if there's a problem, it will take the whole month to find out. So what I simply wanted was to know what was happening every week. Yes, this was a monthly magazine. It published only once a month. But it was incurring expenses daily. And they were supposed to be getting new advertising contracts for the magazine on a daily basis. So there was income, there was revenue and expenditure every week. So when I went to the accounts department and asked them a very simple question, how much did you spend last week? What was your total expenditure on this last week? People started scratching their heads. How much did you spend on this last week? People are scratching their heads, reaching around, leafing through the books, no idea at all. So I talked to one of the accounts clerks. Yes, this was a big accounting department for a small business. And I told him to do the following. Get a piece of paper and draw a line in the middle. And at the top of one column, I wrote the words out. And on top of the other column, I wrote the words in. That is, anything you spend, if you go out and buy sugar to make some coffee for somebody, write the expense down there, even if it's 10 shillings, okay? The other side, any income that comes in, write it down there. At the end of the week, on Friday, you draw a line at the bottom, and then you do your sums. How much money have you spent? How much money has come in? Now, when the very intelligent, very qualified accountant saw my very crude, joakali, very basic, very simple accounting system, he laughed. He went to the directors and asked them, in vernacular, because these people belong to a certain community in Kenya. What kind of idiot did you hire? To cut a long story short, by the next month, this accountant was coming over to this accounts clerk every week to find out what's happening. Of course, they still kept their books, but then my system was the most accurate. The directors of the company, who had been told they hired an idiot, were very happy with it. Every 2-3 days, they would come for this piece of paper to see exactly what was happening. Now, fortunately, in this day and age, those days computers were just arriving. But in this day and age, there's so much software in the market that can help you, accounting software that is simple, that can help you do this kind of thing very easily without using my crude method. But my point is, even if you're starting a new business, you have to have a reporting system that shows you exactly what is happening in the business. Because in the rush and in the tension and pressures of business every day, it is always difficult to keep track. Even if it's you signing all the checks and approving all the cash that goes out, it becomes difficult to keep track and understand exactly what's happening in your business. So using this crude accounting system of mine, it was very easy to know where we were bleeding and how much this person who was dying was bleeding. Of course, referring to the business. There are so many things we found out, and dealt with. Okay, I'll just give you one example. We found every salesperson in this company was getting a transport allowance, and we found out that the transport allowance was unrealistic. It was too high. Now, of course, people were signing off money saying it's transport, but they were going to eat lunch. And this was very easy to identify, because we had created this system, which was very crude, of course, but it showed us immediately where the money was going and how the money was coming in. So even as we brought in, we found a way of attracting a constant flow of customers. So new business was coming in at a very good rate. We also managed to stop the bleeding, to reduce the bleeding. To cut a very long story short, this particular business made a profit for the first time in my first month. And the story about me changed very quickly from the idiot you hired to the genius you hired. I'm not kidding. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying an accounting system is not important. It is very important. Many of the other things are very important. However, the most important is a system for generating a regular flow of customers. Because without that, nothing else can exist. In other words, it's a regular flow of customers that will pay for everything else. Now, regulars on this channel will already know that we have a way in which you can start immediately to generate a regular, constant flow of customers to your business, whatever business you're doing. And you don't have to spend money. Most of these are very ingenious ways of generating business. You can see details on the screen right now on how to get hold of this very valuable ebook. It can be in your email inbox in the next few seconds. It's titled, How to Get Plenty of Customers Right Away. And as you can see on your screens, it costs only 2,500 shillings or $25. And if you purchase this ebook, you'll be able to get another very good, excellent ebook called 101 Brilliant Ideas or Businesses That Will Thrive in Kenya or virtually anywhere else in the world. You'll get this other ebook completely free, so you don't have to copy what you see other people doing without even understanding how it works. You can have your own ideas tested, tried, and researched from this other ebook. So this is a perfect package for you if you want to start a business. It is also an ideal package for you if you're already in business. Why? Because every business needs to generate a constant flow of customers. So if you already have customers, if you're already successful, you can be even more successful. But there's more. Recently, we've put this package on steroids, because we've introduced something free where you can advertise on this channel for free. So you can actually speed up these ideas and these techniques and these systems in this book called How to Get Plenty of Customers Right Away, so that they work much faster for you. Because when you advertise and you reach more people, it speeds up whatever you're doing. Yeah. Let me just explain that further. What is in the ebook, yeah, how to get plenty of customers, many of the ideas there do not need any advertising. Okay, you can do them without any advertising and it will generate business for you. But when you advertise to a large number of people, like the reach you'll get on this channel, over 20 million views and climbing, yeah, you speed up the whole process. Yeah, you're able to get many more customers much faster. So you get the ebook packages, the 2 ebooks for only $25 or $2,500, and then you have free advertising on this channel. Don't procrastinate, don't postpone, go for it right away. I hope the information I've given you on this video has been useful. I hope it will help you become better, and even those who are starting, I hope it will give you a much better chance of succeeding at whatever you want to do. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.